What's up, Pisces? So we got a card description from the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck by Adriana Yalis, and then we'll do the actual reading, okay? And the card pulled for you guys was Pau Darko, with the subtext of Metamorphosis. Discovery through darkness, transcendence of the known, unearthing fear, nonconformity, breaking cycles. Pau d'Arco, commonly known as Tahibo or Lapacho, is one of the most beautiful trees on earth. With over 100 varieties, this tree has been used medicinally among many tribal peoples throughout Central and South America. Most commonly, the inner lining of the bark was boiled for a long period of time and then consumed as a dark coffee-like tea. Pau d'Arco has many medicinal qualities that fall under the moon and Pluto's dominion, such as being a blood tonic and a daily tonic for strength, and also being employed for digestive imbalances, menstrual irregularities, malaria, and anemia, colds, flus, fungal infections, respiratory problems, arthritis, cancer, and a lot more. The Incas and other groups predating them were known to use Pau d'Arco as a panacea. Tribes living thousands of miles apart have employed it for the same medicinal purposes for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Many tribes use wood to make hunting bows, utensils, and all sorts of other tools, believing that it provided great blessings of strength and resilience. Guarani, Tupi, and other indigenous tribes called it El Arbol de Vaga, which translates to the Tree of Heaven in Guarani. The Milky Way was known as the Road to Yavaga. This is the guidance portion. Lapacho is one of the great protectors of the sacred, and she is welcoming you in. Archetypically, Pau d'Arco embodies one of the faces of the Dark Goddess in her almighty splendor. The Dark Goddess is multifaceted, challenging belief systems, frailties, weaknesses, and testing our strength. Like Pluto, Lapacho demands you to rebel against the ignorance of the old self and learn paradigms that inhibit the splendor of your self-expression. Her mighty darkness provides the tools to rebuild ourselves anew, triggering instant metamorphosis. Don't fear the unknown. The nature of mystery, the cosmic womb and its darkness, births all hidden potentials into existence. Trust and step in, you are being guided. Okay, so I think the first thing, when it comes down to this archetype, I suppose, this Pisces archetype, this a lot of times requires maturing, right? It does lead to, it does tend to have it has a pattern of simply taking the meat suit for a ride, right? And that is, it's very hard to gain back control of this particular dynamic when the Pisces energy is activated. And Pisces rules over fear, escape, things like that. So when it comes down to the power of transformation here, it is tremendous. So when we talk about discovery, like this idea of metamorphosis, discovery through darkness, transcendence of the known, unearthing fear, nonconformity, breaking cycles. When you can stop allowing Pisces to take over the meat suit, or the meat suit to take over you, rather. There is very real power there, because you are making conscious decisions, and you have to make conscious decisions in an environment that is very much that is pressurized to make you make decisions. That's what's powerful here. This idea of the environment being made and constructed and engineered to make you do something regardless of what you want to do, right? It's very, very hard. It's very hard. But that potential is equal and opposite to that, right? So that idea of the feeling fear. There's a greater potential than most if not all other archetypes, to really talk about real, being genuine heroes, right? Because being a hero isn't the absence of fear, right? It's acting despite fear, right? Despite feeling otherwise, right? And when you are kind of used to feeling otherwise, to simply having feelings that go with the wind, and you have to understand and be able to bring your meat suit or control and control yourself despite your meat suit wanting to drag you to different places, that is power. That's tremendous power. When it comes down to concept of this idea, breaking cycles, the conscious realization that you can come to, you will have abilities to move where other people could be just simply struck frozen by fear. Real, legitimate fear. So don't discount yourself, don't disqualify yourself, and really take into account what you can do. This idea of also Palo d'Arco is you can try Palo d'Arco tea. It's bitter. It is so bitter. I'm not sure. They say it's brewed into a tea, but I don't know what kind of spices and honeys they put in. I'm not sure what that is, but it is, oh my goodness, it's bitter. I don't drink tea with sugar or sweeteners. So that could be it too, but who knows? When it comes down to this idea, though, the resiliency and the strength that's really bestowed upon people that can truly consciously come into an awareness, and that their meat suit doesn't always their meat suit acts up sometime, and they need to get it back into control. That power is tremendous, and there is tremendous resiliency and strength there. These ideas where you're being kind of just led along or led astray, you may need to have an understand. You may need to grow to an understanding that the old self that was in that particular realm of, hey, this is what I do to in this particular environment, it may not be like that anymore. It may need to stop, and you may need to start making real plans for how to make it stop, and that's going to require you to face discomfort. And I'm thinking about there's an analogy where basically this idea of, for instance, you're faced with this feeling of, let's say for instance you really want to like go out and smoke or something like that, right? That feeling in terms of itself, that impulse is usually the meat suit, right? Or better yet, a better analogy that still kicks, or that's a good one. But I think a better analogy is the idea. When I learned this idea, this concept of the reason why we crave French fries or starch in general is because of the bacteria in our gut, right? And there's something about the makeup about bacteria in our gut really does. There's First off, we have a huge gut mind connection that's just not talked about in general, which is something you might want to look at. But the idea here of, when I found out that the reason why I wanted French fries was because of the bacteria in my gut, I was like, oh no. There are not going to be single-celled organisms that tell me how to live my life. But you may need to come to that understanding about a lot of different things. And I have a very real moment, because when you stop, even with French fries, yeah, it definitely could just be the bacteria in your gut, but there could be something else when it comes down to different things in your life, like smoking, like drinking, right? What's telling you to do that? What is? Can you what kind of stops can you put on that? And really start to think about that. And when you can understand that, when you can answer that question and address it confidently, that's I would say that's a step towards this idea of a real metamorphosis toward your real potential in this world. And if anything, have a good week, and I'll see you next week.